He's like, you know, this doesn't even matter.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Right.
All right, here we go.
There you go, perfect.
All right, let's get some. We gotta get
It
some.
was
fun.
moving.
Welcome to Zips Nation Insider. My name is Jacob Farrar. Here back with another episode. We have a return guest, Willy Kollman. Willy, welcome.
Thank you.
I want to make sure I get your title right. It's a long one. Assistant VP of Alumni Relations and Executive Director of the UA Alumni Association.
We'll go with that. Sounds great to me.
Anything I missed in that?
No.
Chief bottle washer and
That's perfect.
Zippy assistant?
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Great. So this is your second, I put a little asterisk, second time on the podcast. The first time, though, is a pre-recorded, so I didn't get to interview you, but we'll still count you as a two-time attendee. So you know.
What do I get for that?
Well, I was just going to tell you who are the other two-time attendees.
Okay.
We got some potential Mount Rushmore of University of Akron athletics.
Okay. May I ask? May I guess?
Sure.
Is J.D. Brookhart one of them?
No.
Well, then I don't want to know.
Coach Gross.
Okay. Oh, well, I'll accept that.
Coach
Forgive
Gross.
me, John.
And Coach Embick.
Oh, what am I thinking? I mean, come on. That's
that's pretty good.
Mount Rushmore for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So we're excited to have you back. Excited to be able to ask questions live this time. We'll try to focus on some of the things related to alumni relations. Obviously, we want to talk about homecoming. That's coming up.
Sure.
But first, I think I want to know a little bit more about you, your role, but also how you got to the University of Akron.
Oh, my mom. I'm
mom.
pretty sure wrote the essay to get in. I woke up on the 11th floor of Bolger Hall, and there may be a little more truth to that than I joke about. But University of Akron had a phenomenal radio program, Z88, WZIP, and I was so interested in being a part of that. And ultimately, that's what led me to the University of Akron. And there was a lot of work being done to the university at that time, and you could see the potential, where they were going, what they wanted to do. And as a prospective student, that attracted to me. I loved the idea of not doing what everybody else was doing. And at the time, they were going to that school 20 minutes east of here. I, on the other hand, was like, I want to go to another school. I don't want to go to the school that everybody else is going to. And I think from my class, there was something ridiculous. Like 28 people were going to that other school.
Okay.
And others, but there was only 2 of us from my school that were going to the University of Akron. And so I was like, I was all in. I wanted to be, with that side of things.
So you mentioned radio. So was the goal to be a DJ? Like, what did you want to do with the radio communication?
I mean, at the time I was emceeing, I was DJing, and I was already, doing that for some time. So I just thought, this is what I've got talent in, so I'll just lean into that. And by the time I got up there and got, super involved, I loved it. I didn't know if that was going to be my career.
Yeah.
But it was definitely going to be something. It was going to be part of whatever career I chose.
Got it.
And so learned a lot through that period of time. But the university for that first year and a half was also a struggle for me. I didn't necessarily do all the right things that I should have, like get involved. And I kind of sat in my residence hall, my dorm room, and moped. And I called it. I dropped out.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. Many people don't know that.
Did not know that.
Yeah. But that was okay. I went home and I worked for my parents. And after some time doing that, I thought, well, maybe I'll drop back in. And, a one-page paper doesn't sound so bad. But really what I did is I got involved. And I changed everything. And once I got involved and once I became a resident, assistant in RA, I became an orientation leader and ZIP, ZTV. I got to do a couple cool things there and hosting shows. It just changed my entire college experience, and I leaned so much into that. This is what I did wrong. This is what you should do. I wanted to share that message, and ultimately that led me to a career in higher education. That's a little twisty and turny.
Sure.
There was a group called the AK Rowdies.
I was going to ask about that.
That I was involved in.
Yeah.
And
were you a founding member, right?
I think that's a hard. I can't claim that. What I can claim though is I was a member of the organization when it was founded.
Got it.
So I guess if you are going that route, yes. However, taking it over, I took it over after one or two people led it, after I think a year and a half, and that's when I think things changed a bit for the organization. It went from a very small ball organization that was doing really cool things that I was very interested in, like bus trips and screaming and yelling, organized chaos, those kinds of things, and ultimately led to me taking over the organization. And I mean, we grew it substantially from 100 and change. I think by the time we left, it was over 2,000.
Wow.
It was actually that one of my buddies, whose father worked at the University of Akron, came up to me while I was scarfing down some street treats. And he came up and said, you ought to think about doing alumni or fundraising work. You're rocking Akron gear every single day. You're cheering the blue and gold. That would be perfect for you. And this was the moment where I was like, yeah, I'll go do that. That sounds good. And away shifted from, I'm going to go to California and try and make it as, a PA, and maybe one day I can be a producer, to I'm going to stay at the University of Akron and see what we can do to make a career out of supporting the blue and gold.
And so fast forward a number of years, you're in an administrative role at the university.
Yeah, I pinch myself. I mean, I'm so proud to represent the University of Akron. I'll tell you, in that moment when he said you ought to think about doing this, I literally made up my mind in seconds. Like, that's what I'll do.
Yeah.
And I immediately, once I finished eating street treats, which was very important at the time, then I walked up to Bookdale Hall, and I scheduled an appointment with then Vice President for Public Affairs and Development, John LaGuardia. Sure. I stayed on it. With that meeting moved like 5 times over the course of 6 weeks almost, but I eventually met with him, and I told him I was interested in working for him. I think that was like 07, 08, and I stayed with it all the way through, and eventually became working in alumni relations just a few years later. So.
Yeah, I think thinking back, or at least my thoughts on alumni, those that are in the alumni office, this has to be a dream job. Like, my guess is when you, and it's not just you, but other alumni officers, sit around in your conferences, you probably just talk about how lucky you are that you get to work. Now, there's a downside. Every job has things that you don't like. But my guess is if you're working in an alumni office, especially if it's a school that you went to, you're definitely pinching yourself a lot and thinking about, God, how lucky do I have it? I get to promote and represent something that's very, very important to you, and that's your college education.
Oh, it absolutely is. It gave me every bit of opportunity and more. I would never have guessed that I would be here, particularly after leaving Akron. So to be on quite the opposite side of things is, like I said, I pinch myself every day. I get to represent the University of Akron's 182,000 alumni worldwide, and as of this day, I mean, we've got them everywhere. Yeah. And everywhere I go, you will always see me wearing a lapel pin for the University of Akron. I'll try to wear as much blue and gold. My watch is the University of Akron. I do that just when people see, what kind of watch is that? I'm like, oh, it's the University of Akron watch. I'm like, did you go to UA? Sure. And it starts the conversation. Sure. But it's just wonderful to get to represent my alma mater every single day.
Sure. And you mentioned going around the world. I know you guys do road trips and road shows. When you talk with alumni, what are the things that they can't wait to talk to you about? What is that experience? Is there anything that's a common denominator that is something that you always hear from these alumni that you're talking?
There's usually 3 things that the Rubber Bowl generation brings up, and we'll start there. The Acme Zip game is always one, or the Rubber Bowl days, period. The second thing is playing Frogger across, Spicer or Bookdale Common, or visiting the Chuckery for a beer and getting some Altieri's pizza. I think was the choice of pizza at the time, and the old Gardner Student Center. That generation talks about those three things religiously, but they always have great times to bring up. And I could almost tell you, I feel like I went to school here 70 years ago, because I've met alums who went to school at that point and beyond, and well, a little earlier than that, not beyond. I can almost envision exactly what the school looked like at that period of time, because I've seen so many of the photos, I've heard so many of the stories. Anecdotally, I can place myself exactly where they were at on this campus, right to the point where all of Lee Jackson Field, soccer, baseball, track, Schrank, all of those were houses, all the way up to the point of Carroll Street. And so I can almost see it when an alum comes up and says, this is right where my front porch was. And so you get to have those stories in mind, and then you rather become an historian and a bigger advocate for the university.
Well, it's that thing that ties them back to the region, especially if they live other places, is that experience and home.
Yeah.
I know for me, my college experience is something that I think about all the time. And to be able to help people with those memories, it's got to be super, super rewarding, especially when you go out into these other places outside of Ohio. So we're talking about obviously the alumni office, what you do in alumni, but also that intersection between alumni and athletics. And it does seem that there is, in that Venn diagram of athletics and alumni, there is that center point that often connects people. You talked about some of the things that they talk about. Where does sports fit into those things that they're
every bit of
about?
it? There's no separation. We should be closely aligned with athletics. I mean, no matter what, it's no different than we should be closely aligned with academics.
Sure.
When there's great news and there's things going on, like something from Jared Embick, like something from John Gross, we're going to be there. We're going to be there throwing a party, celebrating what's happening at that moment. As an example, when we were in Santa Barbara at another national championship game playing Maryland, we were throwing the parties before, and all of our California alumni were joining.
Yeah.
When we were recently in Seattle, we were there. We're finding the breweries and partnering with athletics to make sure that we're putting on a good show. March going through athletics was, March going through my undergraduate and probably graduate career was one of my favorite points of the year, because every March we were in Cleveland and almost always in the Mid-American Conference championship game. That's still the case to this day. 4 out of 4 years. Really, we were there, and 3 days straight, and that's I love it. It's incredible. I can't take it. This last game, that was the last MAC championship game. I got the most steps in I've ever had in my life. I saw, I think, the first 4 minutes of the game from my seat, and then I walked around the arena the rest of it, with the exception of the last minute.
I saw you on your feet.
I did. I was walking everywhere. I'm like, I can't take this. I can't do this.
A little stressful.
So I'm still a diehard fan, and we'll meet alumni wherever they are at. But Akron Athletics is a big part of that. Every one of our teams.
And especially last year, we had such a great year. So many MAC championships, a Big East champion with soccer. So there was a lot to talk about from an athletics perspective. And so I'm sure that, again, anytime you get a chance to talk with alums, it's always about, the sports and then those other memories.
Well, they bring it up. I mean, I go places. I'll take alumni to meet them for breakfast, and I'll have lunch by myself somewhere. Inevitably, somebody will recognize you and say, "How about those zippers?" And I'm like, absolutely, and that's just part of it. It builds in the community. It's very important, if not just as important. And like I said, academically, it's no different than saying, "How about polymers? Number one in the world, number one global." I mean, absolutely, it's a global number one program.
Yeah. All right, so coming up, we are...
It's the number one program globally. Thank you. Let's get that right.
Get it right. Polymers, number one program globally. Coming up in a week and a half or so, we have homecoming.
Yes, we do.
Homecoming family weekend. Wanted to make sure that you get plenty of opportunities to, Zips Nation, to learn about what's going on that weekend, because it's not just the game.
Yeah,
that's part of it.
It's my favorite tradition at the University of Akron. I look forward to it every year. We start planning for it as soon as it's over, and I pray every day for the weather gods to help us put on a great event.
It's been good.
We've been lucky.
Knock on wood, knock on whatever we can.
Knock on veneer, knock on wood. We'll take what we can get. Yeah, this year, especially Zippy's Fall Fest is this year's theme. It's going to be taking place, and it's homecoming and family weekend, and we try to always get people to remember that, because we have over 500 families that visit the University of Akron's campus every year when we host this event. So this year, October 3rd through October 5th, That's when Family Weekend is. There's a really great event taking place this year. We're celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Williams Honors College as well. So that's going to be taking place on Friday. Also on Friday, we have our College of Business alumni tailgate. Am I stealing your questions
no,
here?
You're good. You're good.
Yeah,
Tell us all about it.
Our men's soccer program is going to be playing St. John's, and that's happening 7 p.m. at First Energy Stadium. In addition to that, we're inviting all of our Ohio's Pride alumni back. So if you're a member of Ohio's Pride, we always host something at Lockview downtown Akron as a little get-together before the big day the next day. Speaking of which, it's going to be a very big day for us. Last year, we had just over 4,000. This year, we're hoping for over 5,000, and we think we'll get there because the activities that are building on this year to year. So the tailgate, which is the annual Forever Zip tailgate that we hold in Lot 10, it's behind the Style Athletic Field House, begins at 11 a.m. And we always kick things off with a tradition. Every school has their I don't know, they have always a fancy name for alumni who are met as alumni, or met as students rather, or met as alumni and then got married. And we don't necessarily have a name for the couple, but we do have a tradition where you can renew your vows on stage with Zippy, and it's called Say I Do with the Roo.
Say I Do with the Roo.
Yeah, so we have couples that come onto the main stage at homecoming where they do I Do with the Roo. So we have one of our alums.
Do you have to register for that? Okay.
You do, and we're full for this year, but keep it in your pocket for future years. So we'll do that from about 11 to 12, and then from 12 on, we're in full go in the tailgate. And we really focus on trying to create the best atmosphere possible, the most family-friendly atmosphere that is. So we have a ton of inflatables, we have balloon artists, we have face painters, and then we have a lot of clean bathrooms for you to enjoy. I have to say that because, you're coming to these things. You want to make sure you have the best, but also really clean spaces to eat at as well. On the main stage, we have Roxy Moron, which is a famous Akron band that we love having every single year, great entertainers. But that's not it. It's Zippy's Fall Fest. So we're going to have a pumpkin patch this year as part of the celebration for you to hang out in. We do our famous $2 16-ounce Bud Lights every single year. That will be the case again this year. $3 specialty drinks for premier beers and or seltzers, and then $4 Hoppin' Frog beers that we have as Zips Hoppin' Blonde, right?
So the party's going to start.
Yeah, and that's going to be going all the way till 3 o'clock. We honor all of our MAC championship teams on the main stage throughout that event, and then we also have performances by our cheer and dance teams as well. And so the athletic director speaks, the president speaks, we introduce homecoming royalty, and all of that leads up until we close it at 3 p.m., and then we go inside InfoCision Stadium, where we're going to be facing Central Michigan this year at 3:30 p.m. And we're expecting a big crowd. Ticket sales are looking very good. Awesome. For more information on all of that, you can visit uakron.edu/homecoming, and you'll see a whole list of events. That's just the homecoming side. The family weekend side is a whole other group, but you can locate all of the family weekend events on uakron.edu/homecoming as well. So do check that out. And then, as always, we have our annual tradition of crowning this year's homecoming king and queen at halftime, crowned by the president, R.J. Niemer.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
It's your Super Bowl.
It is my Super Bowl, and it all depends on the weather. So let's pray for good weather.
Everyone, good vibes for the weather.
I know we'll get there. And, we have very low-cost food. The theme this year, again, Zippy's Fall Fest, there's going to be a lot of fall-themed things going on, and campus comes alive. And this is what you dream about. And it's especially special for me, as I mentioned, the last time I was on the show is because it just didn't exist 10 to 12 years ago. Sure. We've built this into something great.
It's great. I've been every year for the last 4 years. And really enjoy what you guys do and your team. Your team, you have a great team in the alumni office.
And I'm so glad you brought that up, because sometimes you're so worried about getting the information out. I have to acknowledge this team, not only just the alumni team and Chris, Michelle, and Kelly, but there are other great campus departments on campus that have really helped bring this vision to life, and that is Student Life, that is Zip Assist, Student Rec and Wellness Center, and all the entities that help us push and promote this. It really helps.
So that is coming up, not this coming weekend, but the following weekend.
That's right, October 3rd through the 5th. October 4th is the big day with a football game.
All right. Get your tickets, but also make sure you stop by the tailgate if you're coming.
Yeah, if you want to check out tickets, go zips.com, or again, uakron.edu/homecoming.
So, Willy, one thing we like to do, by the way, we have Willy Kollman here from the Alumni office. We like to ask our guests some fun questions.
Okay.
Do you have any superstitions or rituals that you have to do to make sure we get a Zips victory? Even though you're not an athlete, that you still have to do even as a spectator.
Yeah, there's something I do before every MAC championship game, and it actually started with one of my good friends, Chad, where driving up I have to play the same playlist, and it goes back, I don't know, from 07, 08, and it starts with, I don't know, a Coldplay song, and then it runs all the way into Thunderstruck and Metallica gets in there. And I mean, my wife one year joined me on the way up very recently to Cleveland, and I was playing this playlist, and she reached for that dial and she turned it down. Ooh. She's like, "Oh, I have a question." I'm like, "What are you doing? You do not touch this." And I'm telling you right then, this was a moment where I thought we almost lost the game, and I looked at her and I said, "That we just squeezed by." That whole moment in the car is why that just happened. So never do that again. And I will tell you, I love my wife. God bless you. But she's never ridden with me again, and that's my job, or my rule. That's not hers.
Do you hit play as soon as you get in the car? Or is there a certain spot on
there's a certain spot. So I come from Twinsburg. I get on 480, and right in the middle of about 480, in between where I'm hitting about 271, that's when I hit play. Because by the time 480 bridge ends, Coldplay finishes, and then the next one, Metallica, kicks. And then as soon as we get on to 77 North, and we're just rounding up, passing soon the steel mill, that's when I need. The other song comes on. So actually, it wasn't Metallica's the second song. The second song is Thunderstruck by
AC/DC.
By AC/DC. Excuse me. Then Metallica has to hit, and then at that very moment, I'm hitting the red light in front of Progressive Field. Then I have my breather, and then I go and get a slice of pizza. This is true, and then I go to the pregame party.
I love it.
And then we win. Thank you.
I love it.
Go Zips.
It's only weird if it doesn't work.
Yeah, but every year, like, this is what I'm saying. I'm like, well, we're gonna have to do it again. So.
All right. So the answer is, do you have? Yes. The answer is yes.
Yes.
You do have it.
Yeah.
All right. Other question. Now, you mentioned your high school. Most of everyone went up the road. You two of you. Where are you from? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Twinsburg, Ohio.
Twinsburg.
Yep.
Okay.
And I have to say, at about that point when I was graduating with my undergrad, I had the opportunity to go back with the Office of Admissions to Twinsburg, and I went back and looked at the pennant where everybody was going. And Akron, at that point, I think they had like 25, and there's only like 3 or 4 going to that other school.
There we go.
So I was very pleased to see that flip.
Got it. All right. So when we meet with when we have our guests, we like to ask them about, we call it our hometown pizza question.
Oh.
So if we're visiting your hometown, where are we going to go in Twinsburg? Where are we getting pizza in Twinsburg?
So I love pizza, and this is a very difficult question for me. I mean, I would eat pizza every single day if I could. It drives my wife nuts. But I don't have any one location. I try to go wherever it is. I now get pizza when we want pizza. I go 3 or 4 cities over to try on. So right now I'm on a Jets kick.
Okay.
Yeah, which is more of a Columbus.
Jets pizza.
Yeah.
I don't think they have any up here, do they?
There's one. I'll tell you that because I'm going there like every week. Okay. Right now I'm spending my money, but that's okay. So I mean, I spread it all around, and any other pizza place that is owned by an Akron alum, I go there too.
There we go. What's your order?
Oh, I'm just straight cheese. I love cheese all day.
A plain slice.
And I think if I may. I asked this question, and I feel like people get uncomfortable talking about it. And I'm like, hey, we're getting pizza. What do you want? Whatever you want. I'll eat whatever you want. I'm like, that's not true. And then they'll come up with the most ridiculous, I actually get peppers, onions, pineapple. And I'm like, okay, this is why nobody's, But I really just love it plain.
Plain slice.
Yeah,
there you go.
all day. Absolutely.
Okay. So plain slice from anywhere that's nearby.
Yeah.
Or maybe not nearby.
Or maybe not. No, yeah, absolutely. I really, in fact, every city I travel to, this is a real thing. Every city I travel to, I try whatever the best pizza is within like a half-hour distance that I can get to, because I don't want to take a longer Uber than that.
There you go.
And I sometimes, because we work, all the time, or going to dinners, or we're hosting events.
Sure.
If that means that I have to get out there by like 1 a.m., I will do it, because it's part of the checklist, and I could go around talking about pizza to nobody because nobody's ever asked me that question.
Well, I'm glad I had a chance to do that
Yeah,
to you
you're welcome.
today, for you today. All right, this
Yeah.
is our rapid fire segment. So I'm going to ask a bunch of questions. First
Okay.
thing that pops into your mind, favorite Zips memory from the past year?
Oh man, this is one of those I wish you had it in advance kind of question. But I mean, in the last year, you know what? It was quite recent. And does this have to be athletic based or anything?
No.
Enrollment went up.
Oh, it did.
3.4%, I think. 9.7 first years. We went from 14.7 to 15.3, and you know that's a sign. That's a great sign for our alma mater, for the University of Akron, and it's particularly wonderful because there's so many hardworking people in this campus that have worked hard to make that happen.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Best athletics tradition at University of Akron?
Well, tradition. Does it get better? Does it get any better than hoisting the wagon wheel up?
Wagon wheel's good.
That one's
like the wagon
a
wheel.
goodie. I'd also say some of the MAC tournament parties have just been phenomenal, where we're having hundreds roll through.
Yeah.
So when you think about it, hoisting the wagon wheel up, and knowing that
What it means. It means.
yeah, and if you can put about 3 wins on top of Kent State in basketball, the next, I'll take whatever I can
Here
get.
you go.
Yeah.
So wagon
I
wheel.
said their name.
That's okay. If you weren't working in alumni relations, what job would you want?
Oh man, I don't know. And I have to say this is because when people say, "So what did you want to do?" and I'm like, midway through my college career, I wanted to be alumni director.
Sure.
I'm like, I've never heard of that before. I'm like, well, it's true. I love what I do. I don't know if I'd want to do really anything else.
So that question is NA. You wouldn't want to do anything else.
not applicable, but I mean, there'll be something. I'm sure. The bottom line is, working on a college campus is the best part about it, because you get to see so many faces, meet new people, experience what's going on institutionally. Yeah. The wins on our academic side, the wins on our athletic side. You get to see and be a part of all of that, and you get to see how this university has touched the lives of so many. Sure. So that's why you don't want to do anything else. It's such a great job.
Got it. Well, there's nothing wrong with that answer. That's
I know.
A great answer. Dreams Zips sporting event you'd love to see packed with alumni.
Every football game I would love to see packed with alumni, 100%. Every basketball game I would love to see packed with alumni. I mean, that's what I would love to see. I would love to see all of our stadiums full of Akron alumni.
Got it. There's the charge.
That's not a political answer either. It might sound like it is, but it isn't. I mean, there's days where you might be playing a lesser known opponent and it's kind of empty, and you feel for the kids on the field, and you wish there was a little more environment, and that's exactly it.
All right, I got a tough one for you. If you had to choose one, a soccer game at First Energy Field or a basketball game in the Jar?
Who are we playing?
Good question. Because you can't.
It's hard to miss Kent State at the Jar. Being a on-court host there for many years.
Yes.
It doesn't get much better. The way the Jar is set up is you're right on top of the court, and to have an environment like that when it's packed, just the first basket, everybody thought that it was like the game winner, and it's that loud. You feel it rumble, and that, I think, is something that it just doesn't get any better than that.
It definitely leaves an impression on you.
Yeah, it's just awesome.
All right. You mentioned this before, breakfast meetings. What's your best place for an Akron area breakfast meeting?
Akron Family Restaurant is where I love to go, and to me, that's one of the only places to go. That's where we're headed. People go there so often now. I mean, they don't even say Akron Family Restaurant. They just go AFR, like AFR, back table corner. Gotcha. Meet you there.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Favorite University of Akron landmark for photos with alumni?
Famous University of Akron landmark.
Favorite.
Favorites.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who are taking a lot of photos on the UA medallion in what's called
Yes.
the Corbin
That-
Loop,
kind of that angle.
where right in front of the Williams Honors
Yep.
College. And notice how I'm saying these names correctly because this is important. They're great people who've given to the University of Akron. That's actually more of a new one
Yeah.
for a lot of our students. That's been about the last 10 or 15 years.
Okay.
But I always try to make sure alums come back and visit Kollman Common. Les and Kathy Kollman Common is just so gorgeous, especially in the fall where there's great sunset. The fountains are on, they're lit up at night, and most importantly, you get that full wide open landscape with Buchtel Hall in the back.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
most alums will take it in front of the steps of Buchtel Hall.
Sure.
Many alums have gotten married
Yeah.
on the steps of Buchtel Hall.
All right. One word to describe Zips Nation.
Rowdy.
Rowdy. There we go. Last question for
Last
you.
question. Here we go.
Last question. Why should we be excited about University of Akron athletics this year?
Are you kidding me? First of all, one of the best soccer coaches in the country. We're seeing tremendous change. Ryan Ginsler is the women's basketball head coach. Get to talk with him a lot, and such high hopes for him. For Tyson leading volleyball.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to talk about John Gross. I think his success stands on his own. I fully believe that we have one of the best football coaches. I really do. There's progress there that he's showing, and I'm going to give all the love to him because he's got a very, very tough job. Who could forget Newt? This is not just one answer. I'm sorry, but let's shout out to Akron
There we go.
Rifle.
There we go.
I mean, and Zips cross country, and they're killing it. And
Sure.
and people don't realize how lucky we are. We have some of the best facilities in the Mid-American Conference. It's awesome.
Well, thank you, Willy Kollman.
Thank you.
Excited to have you here. Back again, second time club for Zips Nation Insider. Thank you very much.
Go Zips. Yeah, homecoming.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.